So in this video I wanted to talk a little bit about the vlogging side of things. So if you are wanting to make better YouTube videos, better GoPro videos, I always find that having an element of vlogging, so like self-shot vlogging like this, really does help to create better stories and show people where you are and stuff. Like at the minute we're in Bali, next to a really nice rice field. And yeah, so I thought I'd just take you through some tips and tricks to taking better vlog style videos. So whether you're doing traveling or you just want to add like a different element to your sports and adventure videos, this will help you out. So I am currently shooting on a GoPro Hero 9. I will put the settings on the screen to they're like my go-to settings for vlog style videos like this, if I'm just wandering around talking to the camera and stuff like that. I'm also using the GoPro Max tripod grip, so this is like an extendable tripod selfie stick, which if I can get it out, actually extends quite far, so we can get some interesting angles with that. But I always find carrying a tripod around is really beneficial rather than just holding the GoPro, because first things first, the GoPro audio is very, very sensitive. So if you actually hold the GoPro, or you even hold the GoPro in a little mount, you'll end up getting some feedback in the sound when you're editing your video. So we don't want that. I always find using a GoPro selfie stick or any kind of tripod helps to get rid of that. So my first little tip is to try and always hold the camera steady. Nobody likes watching shaky footage, at least I don't anyway, and probably the people watching your videos are in the same boat. The good thing about GoPros, especially on the later cameras, they've got really, really good inbuilt stability in these cameras. Like this is the Hero 9. I currently have the boost setting on, so this has got the highest stability on, and if I'm actually jumping around now, you can see that, and the camera is probably fairly stable. If you were to do that with the boost and the stability turned off, the camera will be going all over the place. So little tip, whatever GoPro you're using, always try and think about keeping the camera steady and stable. So let's talk a little bit about getting creative and shooting different kinds of angles with your GoPro, because it's all well and good filming your sport or just being able to turn the GoPro on and record things, but for me, I find that people's attention spans are very, very short nowadays. So we have to do everything in our power as content creators or people who want to make better videos to keep things interesting. And to do that, we can use a range of different shots on our GoPro. So the first shot I like to use, and I'll generally use this type of shot at the start of a video, or if I'm changing a scene and I want to show people where I am. So we call this an establishing shot, and basically you are establishing where you are. So establishing shot could literally be as simple as, hey look, I'm at this really beautiful rice field in Bali. It could be done on a drone. Basically, you want to use an establishing shot for showing people where you are when it's generally not easy for people to understand where you are, if that makes sense. It's all well and good saying that you are in a certain location or you're at a certain place, but sometimes it can be better to show people where you are rather than just tell people. And that's another big thing as well of making better GoPro videos. A lot of people get trapped in just talking to the camera, just telling people where they are and what they're doing. But if you can get in your head and understand the principle, oh, I nearly fell off a wall. If you can get in your head and understand the principle that if you can show people where you are and show people what you're doing rather than tell people, your videos will come out 10 times better just by doing that one little tip. So here's an example. So we're just stood here talking now. I'm talking about Bali and how great the country is. Hey, look at this beautiful rice field and all the mountain biking that's here we've been doing, whatever. When I'm post-editing, instead of just having a video of me talking to the camera like this, I would overlay clips, video clips on top of this, so you would see what I'm talking about, if you understand what I'm saying. This will be covered in the future videos in the editing part of the course, but just to give you a bit of a heads up how that could look. But show and don't tell people. Next type of shot is a shoulders up shot, so this is just basically a headshot. This is a really good angle because you've got the viewer's attention, and it's almost like you're having a conversation with the person watching your video, which is going to create a more engaging video. People are going to stick around, watch your videos, and it's just going to create a better feel for your overall final piece. Next shot is slightly wider, so now we're going like chest up. This is kind of cool if you want to kind of talk to the camera, but you also want to show a snippet of the where you are, the environment of a landscape you're in. So this is a beautiful place. I don't know why I would not want to show it off. It's kind of cool, gives a little bit of space between the person watching your videos and the video you're making, so it just kind of like, it's a bit more of a relaxed feel. Kind of cool to get those kinds of shots in the mix. Then we can go really far away, so I've got the selfie stick fully extended, and now I'm literally just holding that out in front of me, and you can really get a grasp of what's going on around me, what my environment looks like, and almost helps bring viewers into your videos. Look at that, that's really cool. Feels like you're probably watching like in a video game or something. Another key thing to think about as well is it's all well and good doing these selfie style videos, but that as well can get a little bit tedious and a little bit boring sometimes. So I like to throw in the mix in my videos anyway, some cinematic, what we call like B-roll footage. So B-roll footage is basically another way of overlaying footage on top of your main video clips that, you know, maybe shows a specific part of what you're talking about. It's like focuses in on a specific product or a specific thing. I'll put some videos over this video now of what B-roll footage is, but generally it's kind of like a little bit more cinematic, and a lot of people like to use slow motion for those B-roll clips, and it just brings out a really cool feel in your videos. Just keep in mind as well that if you want to film B-roll cinematic style clips to go in your video, I would recommend changing your settings on your camera. On this GoPro Hero 9, I can literally flick between cinematic and like a standard mode, which I'm on now. The cinematic version, or setting, sorry, that I would use for B-roll footage is, it's a little bit more cropped in. So now you'll see we've got a nice wide field of view. When we're doing B-roll footage, I like to use a linear crop, so a linear field of view. And I also like to increase my frame rate to about 60 or 120 frames a second. So if you do want to slow your footage down when you're editing your video, you can do that and it'll be really smooth and crisp and buttery. It won't be like jumpy or anything like that. When I'm out creating videos, I'm always on the hunt for interesting content to film. So don't ever feel like you're limited to the space that is around you. So if we're doing this selfie stuff now, don't feel that there isn't anything going on around you that you could film to add to your video, because if you look around, there's always interesting stuff going on. Like, I know we are literally in this rice field here, but there's all sorts of interesting items, things going on that you could add in as B-roll footage over the top of your video. For example, I'm now stood here barefoot. It's really hot and I'm walking around and my feet are getting hot. So if I shared that in a video, instead of me just telling you this, I could get a shot of my feet walking along the hot tarmac and then show that in my video. That's a really cool idea, to have B-roll like that over your clips. So you're showing people, you aren't telling people. But it's things like that I'm always on the lookout for. Anything, any little detail that will add to your video is always a bonus. So next little point I want to touch upon is transitions. Transitions are basically how one clip marries up to the next clip. Most people, when they're making videos, they will literally just butt up their clips next to each other, and you'll basically get what's known as just a straight cut. So if I stop recording now and then start recording over here, that's pretty much just a straight cut, which is the most basic way of stitching a video together, and it works. It works for 80-90% of the time. But if you want to add a little bit more creativity and a little bit more juiciness to your videos, there are some cool camera transitions that you can make without having to do any fancy editing or anything like that. It just is simple and easy to do. So I'll show you a really simple transition here, and we'll do like a whip or a wipe transition. And we're going to transition from these green plants and we're going to teleport ourselves over to the rice field. So get ready and I'll show you how to do this. So let's say, for example, we are over at these plants, these lovely green plants. If you're filming some B-roll footage or any kind of clip and you're panning around like this, all you need to do is whip the end of your clip. So come back again and whip again, and so there's some really simple camera transitions you can use. Literally would take you a couple of minutes to master these, but they really do add to the quality and the engagement you'll get from your videos. Basically transports your viewers from one scene to the next, or one clip to the next, without it being clunky. It's very organic, it's very smooth, and it's also really cool. It's really interesting, it's really cool to be a part of and really cool to watch. Another quick and easy way to transition from scene to scene, or even start or end your video, is literally a camera slap. And literally all you're going to do, when you know you come into the end of a scene or the end of a clip, all you're going to do is put your hand over the lens, like so. And then you're going to take your hand off the lens and you're going to be in a new clip or a new location. So that's another cool little transition you can do. If you're doing that transition, putting your hands over the lens and then taking it off, oh, I've got some horrible mark on my hand there. Remember as well to adjust your shutter speed, because if it's set to automatic and you start putting your hand over the lens, it will start trying to adjust itself. So if you notice, if I put my hand over the lens and then I take it off, you'll notice that the screen is very overexposed to start with. To stop that happening, you're going to need to use a manual shutter speed, and you might have to have a bit of a play around with that, but that's just a thing to know. So they were two really simple transitions that you could do, and you don't need any equipment other than what you've already got. It just literally comes down to the way you move your camera. That's literally it. And then there's a little bit of post editing to do, like where you stitch the clips together at the right point and the right frames, but that's literally it. You don't have to have any other software or any fancy equipment or accessories to do it. And they look really cool because they transport your viewer from one scene or one clip to the next, really organically, really smooth, and they look really cool as well. So those are some really fundamental tips to helping you get some better GoPro videos when you're out doing some vlog style videos. Hope it's been useful. I'm going to put some more videos in the course in the future about, you know, different aspects of making videos, obviously, and any new tips that I come across or I learn, I'll obviously put the videos in the course so you can have access to those as well. But even just using the tips you've learned in this video, so varying the different kinds of shots you get, whether you get nice wide establishing shots, really close-up shots, middle shots, B-roll shots, and some cool transitions, you'll quickly see your videos going up a notch. I can guarantee you that. So yeah, take care, and we'll see you in the next video.